Well, thanks for that, Neeraj. Let me first start off by giving you the peg. Well, Kotak is super bullish on IRB Infra. They've upgraded it from a reduce to an add. So that's first, but we'll try to delve deeper into it, try to understand what IRB Infra exactly does. It's the largest private roads and highways company. It builds it as well as operates it. So it does operation and management as well as building of the highway itself. It currently has a portfolio of 15,444 kilometers in terms of lane kilometers of road portfolio across 12 states of India. So it is by far the largest when it comes to this particular business. Now let me flip this around. Let me take it forward. It works under three models, and if you would have come across any road developer, these are the three models typically that they operate in. One is the build, operate, transfer model, where the road is built and operated by the infra developer, and then it is transferred to the government. The other one is the toll, operate, transfer, where the project is transferred to the infra developer like an IRB, and thereafter IRB operates it for the tolling period and it's transferred back to the government. And the third one is the HAM model, which is the hybrid annuity model, where the government gives certain grants to the toll and the operator of as well as the constructor of the infrastructure project, and thereafter also on an annual basis continues to pay the operator and developer a certain fee before it is transferred back. So these are the three models. Let's quickly pull up what IRB does in general. One is that it has the one big positive rather in the current setup is that the toll price is linked to inflation and the concession period to the traffic, and that gives IRB a little bit of a leg up. More on that, of course, is when we'll come to the Kotak note and try and analyze what it says. Now, four business verticals. One is the concessions themselves, what IRB does. Second is it has a private InvIT platform where certain of their assets are transferred to an InvIT, some divestiture basically, which they've done to raise money. Third is a public InvIT platform, very similar but a separate set of assets, of course. And fourth is EPC, where they do the construction as well as the operation and management. So mainly most of the direct revenue comes from 1 and 4. 2 and 3, it's indirect revenue through some amount of divestiture which they've done. But let's try and look at the numbers. I'll pass that on to Anushi.
Right. So Harsh gave a pretty clear picture on what the company does and how the background of the company is. But let's move on to what kind of market cap the company covers. About 35,000 crore of a market cap over here. But how has the company performed over the course of last 4-5 years? Just look at the trajectory. Now, if you have to look at the revenue trend over here, 6,800 crore in FY20, which has more or less remained in a similar range. No particular CAGR growth that we are seeing about FY23, 6,400 crore. But now, FY24 onwards, we are seeing a significant pickup over here, about 20% of an upside. So revenue remains in check, but if you have to move to the EBITDA and the EBITDA margins over here, EBITDA, again, a similar trend that we are following, about more or less the 2,900 numbers, shifting to about 35,000 crore of range, while the EBITDA margins remain in the 45% to 50% of a range over here. While this is also due to the pickup of the construction cost, we are saying there you go, about 50.4% in FY23 compared to about 43.4% in FY20. So quite a significant upside. But FY24, we are again seeing a dip led by the increase in construction costs we are seeing. Now, last is the profit trend. Profit trend about 71 crores. Now, this again, because of the COVID period, because of the toll collections and all, we saw a dip in FY21 and 22, which has now gathered pace in 23 onwards again. And we are seeing some pickup over here. Now, moving on to the recent news, and which is the main focal point for the Kotak's rating that we are seeing, Sinatra is about to acquire about 24% stake in IRB's Private InvIT. This is also owned by Ferrovial, which remains in focus. So if you have to look at the valuation at which Sinatra has backed at So that stands about 40,700 crore. So this they are buying from GIC, which holds about 49% stake. So in which IRB holds about 51% stake. So that stands at about 20,400 crore. So if this is to be compared with what Kotak's valuation was at about 14,400 crore, at which they have priced it at rupees 34 per share, a kind of high premium that we are looking at, through which Kotak has now adjusted its estimates for the company going forward and has given this an add rating compared to the sell rating it had earlier. Again, more reasons for this growth projections are also the NHAI's strong pipeline of about 15 projects that stands at about 44,400 crore. So in the next 2 years also, IRB stands as a key beneficiary for this, with its net debt to EBITDA at pretty comfortable levels also, if you are to look at. So accounting for this, we are seeing the adjusted traffic estimates being raised by 1 to 7% over the course of FY24 to 26 period. So these are overall the key highlights as to which Kotak is bullish on IRB going forward and has upgraded its rating.